Armin Saroukian and Giorgio Paulus are heading straight back into competition. Real American Freestyle confirmed the rematch for RAF 7 on March 28th in Tampa, less than 1 week after Tsarukyan edged a points victory over Paulus in the co-main event at RAF 6 in Tempe. When two elite wrestlers run it back this fast, unfinished business is the only explanation. Tom Aspinall addressed the fighter pay gap directly at Friday's press conference, and he did not sugarcoat it. His point was straightforward. Dana White writing Conor Benn a $15 million check, while UFC fighters earn $15,000 for a fight, is not just a disparity, it is a problem. And it is a direct reason why boxing is now a serious option for him.
Tom, I know you briefly touched on it then, but we've seen Dana come in and he's paying boxers a lot more than in the UFC. Did that bother you at first at all?
I mean, I think it's bothered everybody. I think if one guy's getting paid 15 million and the other guy's getting 15 grand, I think that's a big difference, mate. Which is part of the reason that I want to explore other options.
Aspinall also gave an encouraging health update. He is back in the gym and training again after multiple surgeries.
When can we expect to see you back in the cage, Tom? What is the latest on that timeline?
Like Eddie said, I've had multiple surgeries, so things do have to be right for me physically as well. So just when I'm under the doctor's, whatever he says at the minute. So I'm back in the gym now doing a bit of training, and yeah, just the full focus is now just coming back and doing my thing.
Conor McGregor went on record ahead of UFC 326 with a clear message. The BMF title does not belong at lightweight. Speaking to Smashcast Media, he argued the belt was built at 170 and should stay there. Naturally, he also made clear he is ready to fight for it himself.
It's why go down to 155 and train ourselves and then title it BMF. The BMF title was founded by Nate Diaz at 170 pounds, the creator of the belt. So the belt should be contested at 170 pounds. And I'm up for it. And I'll go and I'll take it. There's so many avenues we can go, and I'm up for every single one.
Chan Sung Jung traveled all the way from Korea to stand behind Max Holloway ahead of his Oliveira rematch. Former rivals becoming genuine allies. That is what elite competition does to people.
Hold on. Hey. Yes, sir. Yeah. Right here, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Armin Saroukian broke down the Holloway versus Oliveira matchup on the Jackson podcast, and his take carries real credibility because he has actually competed against Oliveira. His most striking point was this: he only needs the first 2 minutes to know how the fight will go. That is a fighter reading early signals at the highest level of fight IQ. Right now, he is leaning toward Charles. And after watching Oliveira completely dismantle Gaethje on the ground, that lean is very difficult to argue against.
I think Charles, so some fights he fights very well, sometimes he fights bad. Depends how it's gonna look like. I'm gonna tell like from 1 or 2 minutes. His last fight he was with Gamrot, he looked so good.
He looked amazing.
Yeah, he just destroyed him like so easy and choked him out in the second round. And
he looked a different league to Gamrot on the ground. He did whatever he wanted.
He's Gamrot, he's a grappler too, and like he choked him out like so easy, and on the feet was good too. And especially after knockout, he got knocked out from the Ilya and went there and performed on such a good level. I was shocked, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like, but sometimes he fights bad, sometimes he fights good. But like, I would say Oliveira.
Francis Ngannou is a free agent. The PFL confirmed his release on Friday, closing a chapter that began when he left the UFC in 2023 following a bitter contract dispute. He competed just once under the PFL banner, a first-round knockout of Renan Ferreira in October 2024 to claim the Super Fights heavyweight title. Dominant, vintage Ngannou. At 39 years old, every major promotion in combat sports is now watching closely. The release news was barely 24 hours old before the next move started taking shape. Sports business insider Blake Avignon reported that Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul's company, is in serious discussions to sign Ngannou. Daniel Cormier jumped on his YouTube channel to react to the Ngannou news. And DC's perspective is always worth listening to because he approaches these situations with genuine historical context, not just hot takes.
Tom Aspinall's with Eddie Hearn, say he can't really come to terms with the UFC. If the UFC can get Francis Ngannou back in the fold, then you start making fights with him and say he always was the champion, he just left for a while. John Jones gives you too many problems to get on the White House, right? Or it's not working. Francis Ngannou's on the market. You kind of pivot and go, well, Francis, can we get together and talk about maybe you fighting at the White House? That takes a little bit of that leverage from the Jones side. And then also it just gives us the chance to have Francis back in the UFC. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen because it seems like the UFC and Dana and Francis aren't really coming together in the way that they would need to in order to make that happen. But hell, we have seen things happen in sport, especially in entertainment, more than I could come to tell you. So CM Punk hated the WWE. He's back now. We've seen so many Brock Lesnar. It looked like Brock Lesnar would never get back in the WWE after all the things that he did. He's back now. So many people have had issues with the organization and they've been back.
Bo Nickel made a bold statement on the Jackson podcast this week. He is 100% confident he out-wrestles Khamzat Chimaev in a pure wrestling match. He acknowledged Chimaev is elite, then said it anyway. His reasoning had nothing to do with doubting Chimaev. It was entirely about his own belief. He and Chimaev, in his view, are the two best wrestlers in the middleweight division.
Is there a single fighter in the UFC right now that you think could out-wrestle you?
In a wrestling match?
Yeah.
This is the question.
Pereira.
Yeah. What about Khamzat Chimaev?
That would be
come on
one.
That's the most scariest wrestling match in the UFC.
I would love that. That would be super fun. You know, honestly, like, of course, like in a wrestling match, I believe 100% I'm winning that match.
Khamzat?
Yeah, for sure. But I think that
you can't be 100%. That guy's a monster.
He is a monster.
All right, 101%. That's
okay.
the lowest I'll go.
But have you seen him?
Yeah.
What makes you?
I watch a ton of film on him.
And what do you think? Why are you so confident?
It has nothing to do with him. It just has to do with my belief in myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think Khamzat is probably, I think in the UFC right now, wrestling wise, I think him and I are the best wrestlers.
The UFC White House card has not been officially announced yet, and it has already lost a fight. Dana White revealed during a Friday live stream that one of the bouts being built for the card, expected to be announced at UFC 326, has already fallen through. The matchmaking team found out in real time at the ceremonial weigh-ins. The reaction on their faces said everything.
I'm hungover. I went out with Kid Rock last night. Bad idea. We drank a lot of whiskey. Big, fat-headed Dana White emoji. You! What dumb shit do you have for me this evening? I'm too hungover to deal with these people tonight. What do you got? It says, tell one name. I'll tell you guys something about the White House fight. So we've been working on this thing nonstop, and one of the fights literally just fell out when I walked in here. I don't see. I think Hunter killed himself. I don't know. One of the fights fell off tonight.
That is everything for today. If this level of breakdown is what you come here for, hit the like button and subscribe to stay current on all things combat sports. See you next time.